Hello YouTube fam, today we're playing a deck called Lagomos Value, based around Lagomos Hand of Hatred, which is a 1 black-red creature, 1/3 that has, at the beginning of combat in your turn, create a 2/1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So we get a free creature every turn, and this free creature is really good because we can sacrifice it for value with Ob Nixilis, with Braids, with Eaten Alive. We can also draw a card when it dies with Morbid Opportunist. So really that's what the deck is built around. It's a red-black sacrifice deck without Anvil. And of course, being a red-black deck, you also have Cut Down, Lightning Strike, Go for the Throat, premium removal spells in this format. Cold Conscript goes right along with your sacrifice theme. You can play Cold Conscript into turn 3. Ob Nixilis is a powerful play. And I want to shout out Sunday for submitting this deck. Sunday submitted this deck all the way from Greece, so shout out Sunday. And this is their second deck I'm playing on the channel, I believe. And if you want me to play your deck on the channel, please submit it in the Google form in the description of this YouTube video you are watching. Alrighty, let's see how this deck does on the ladder. Okay, we're going first, but we have no black mana, so we must mulligan that. It's a much better hand. I think we can get rid of one of these cut downs. See if our opponent keeps 7, or what they're up to. Opponent also mulligans. See if our opponent goes down to 5 or keeps their 6. Keeps their 6. Monastery Swift Spear. Okay, we're just gonna kill that now. And we're gonna want to draw 2 lands in a row that can be played on the important turn so we can get damage in. That's not good. That's not good. So pass without a land drop. Phoenix Chick. Okay. 2 Phoenix Chicks. Okay. Gonna play with fire. Alright, well, if we can get to this sheltered, we might have a chance in this game. Guess we're keeping the lightning strike. Cock is in. Okay. And a Reckless Impulse. Sheesh, Reckless Impulse. Not good for their last card for us. Haunted Ridge, okay. We'll play a Lagomos. Or Braids. Probably a Braids. And we don't want to sacrifice anything this turn. Next turn, we want to get the Lagomos sacrificing going. Hopefully they didn't draw a Lightning Strike. Phoenix Chick. And they played the land first, so that means we can block the Monastery Swift Spear. That was an interesting play by them. Okay. That wasn't bad. That certainly wasn't bad. Yeah, I think we just have to get the Shelly down. And next turn we're going to try to get the Lagomoses going. So we're not going to attack, but we are going to sacrifice this mountain, I believe. Opponent decides they're going to sacrifice their mountain too. That's fine with us. Another land for opponent, okay. Alright, they're gonna send in with everybody, it seems like. I would imagine you're not gonna activate the Mistress Foundry if you're not getting it with everybody, but apparently our opponent is, okay. So we'll draw on our upkeep, which is nice at least. Gain a life, is what I meant. Okay, so now get the Lagomos and we can create the 2/2. Not attack with it, and sacrifice it to Braids, and start gaining life this way, which is going to be pretty big. Opponent does get rid of the Phoenix Chick, so that means they're going to have to attack with something. They're going to have to give us a free block somewhere to make a 2/2 Phoenix Chick. Can't play for the Bloodthirsty Adversary or the Mistress Foundry here. Yep, and they are getting in with the etchings. They're not. They can't. Oh, they can't get the Phoenix Trick back right now anyway, so might as well not attack with it. That makes sense. Yeah, we'll get the conscript back. And we'll pass the turn. Gain some more life with the Lagomos. Drawing a card. Unless they start sacrificing creatures. It's definitely possible they sacrifice some more creatures. They said they do, okay. They really don't want us to draw cards to gain life, okay. If they fire up, they can't bring back the Phoenix Trick, which is pretty good for us. Okay, so they are going to keep the 2 red up. They're just going to attack with this Mistress Foundry then. They're going to lose a lot of whatever they attack with. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, I think we're going to kill this Phoenix chick. Because it does the most damage. Block Mistress Foundry here. Another mountain for us, okay. Yeah, I think we're just meant to pass here. Gonna sacrifice the creature token for Lagomos again. I want to sacrifice the Swift Spear this time, okay. Interesting choice there. Our opponent's bound to just scoop here. I'm not really sure. That was a poor choice of tapping. I don't think I would have pointed that at our Obliterating Bolt, or I don't know. That was an interesting decision from our opponent there. But Lagomos value, just stopping Mono Red in his track by being able to just draw cards with Shelly and Braids and make them sacrifice creatures with Braids if they don't want us to draw cards. So pretty powerful there for the first game already. On to the next one. Okay, our opponent goes first, and this hand isn't particularly fast or it doesn't have that many powerful cards, but I think we're meant to keep these cards, these hands at least function. All right, Generous Visitor on turn 1. Yep, we'll pass. So opponent thinks we have a cut down for sure, probably. We're gonna cut this down now so they can't beef up this Spirit Companion or anything. Another fucking rival. Well, we want this Lightning Strike to be available, so we'll play the red mana. We would have loved to have played a creature there or something so we could Ob Nixilis, but alas, did not work out for us. I think we do want to kill this Kami, though. Just to try to get ahead on the board. I know they're going to be able to get it back from the graveyard, and we do have this Eaten Alive in hand, but I think we do want to get onto the board, like, with this Ob Nixilis with relative board stability. Gets our opponent to start losing life at least. Next turn we have this Eaten Alive. If we sacrifice a creature, which, you know, I'm almost sure that they're going to attack, so we'll block with the double. It's probably not going to be able to eat alive next turn unless we draw like a Cult Conscript or something along those lines, or a Lagomos or something, but... see what our opponent has here. They have like a, you know, Touch the Spirit Realm or Borrowed Time or something that can remove this Devil with Ob Nixilis. They'll want to hit the Devil. So that way they can just kill the Ob Nixilis. And if we were to be able to kill this enchantment, which You know, not from our deck, but certainly we know this could be a deck that has Invoke Despair. If you're looking at it from the opponent's side, they've just seen a Lightning Strike cut down and Ob Nixilis. Very possible we have Invoke Despair, so they would potentially want to avoid that scenario by not attacking, or by not hitting the devil with, not hitting the Ob Nixilis with the Borrow Time and instead hitting the devil. Nothing there from our opponent. Ooh, and we did draw the Logamos. And exiling the Catilda is way, way better than lightning striking the Catilda. So I think we'll actually do that. And we'll start with plus in the Ob Nixilis. Ooh, our opponent decided to discard the Chico's Reign of Truth. Interesting. Yeah, no attacks from us, and we're gonna sacrifice the creature and get this Catilda. It's a power with Logamos, makes cards like Eaten Alive so much better. And now this Devil's in a pretty good spot to start blocking against their Fangin' Spirited Companion. Opponent definitely has some big draws that probably put us out of this game, like Hollowed Haunting. So we're looking to avoid those this turn. All right, touch the Spirit Realm, see what they put under it. Our Logamos, so that's fair, that's fair. And going both at Ob. So we're just going to block one and kill the other. And now we have this Lightning Strike. Making the Akami back. Opponent is going to discard the Kami, okay. Now we get to leave Lightning Strike up or Takanuma. Takanuma, we have no creatures currently in the graveyard. But hopefully we can get one here. Milled a bunch of cards that weren't doing anything right now, though. Well, Cold Conscript is something. It can attack. I'm going to plus on our opponent here, and next turn we'll probably just keep plussing, honestly. So your opponent has a Naturalist, sure. I think we would gladly trade a Conscript for a Naturalist here. If they don't want to. Just try to kill our opponent as fast as possible. Don't want them to be able to play things cheaply and chain off next turn potentially. I'm a little worried about the Reign of Truth, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And yes, their Kami did get back as well. So yeah, I think this time we're gonna make a Devil and pass it the turn. Make our opponent think we have something in hand, when really we're straight up out of gas. We'd love to block this portrait and kill it with the Devil, or block the Kami with the Cold Conscript. We'd be down to do either one. This is, of course, is a non-skeleton creature, so if we block with it, we can get the Cold Conscript back. Restoration of Agandra, okay. So they're probably going to attack with both. The question is, do we want to keep the Ob alive and get one more Devil and potentially have some draws, or do we want to double block? Actually, I think, yeah, we're going to block the portrait and the Kami. Oh, the Kami is trample anyway. I think we'll still block like this. Shoot the portrait with the Devil. Get the Cold Conscript back. And we are still going to lose our Ob, but we are going to get the Cold Conscript back this way and kill this portrait. I don't think it really mattered probably too much whether we blocked the portrait or the Kami with the Devil. Obviously, we can choose which card to kill here. I think we'd rather kill this portrait, since if we killed the Kami, they would just get it back. If we ever killed it under enchantment. Kill a portrait here. And the portrait's just gonna get bigger and bigger every turn. Let's get this conscript back. And draw Lagamos, okay. That's something. Get on the offensive now. Opponent's gonna have to respect the damage dealing potential we have here. They are gonna be able to get back like a Jukai Naturalist, or maybe either another Chico's Reign of Truth. We'll see what they choose. Most assuredly gonna ditch this Plains. I mean, they don't really have any use for it. Also, they have an even worse card in hand. I'm not really sure what that would be. Maybe Forest? I don't really know. But you gotta imagine they're gonna discard a land of some sort here. Opponent's thinking about what they want to get back, though. Okay, so our opponent has timed out, and now we're getting some damage. And they didn't get to reuse their Iganja, which is a little unfortunate for them. I don't know if they were sick of playing the Lagamos value deck or what was going on there, but likely they're gonna just lag the rest of this game away. We'll see. Okay, well, our opponent has indeed lagged out and conceded. I'll probably still keep it in the video because the beginning of that match was pretty good, but hard to draw too much conclusions about the end of that match. So let's see if we can draw some more conclusions from the next one. Let's get on to the next match. Okay, we're going first, and this hand has no removal. And now we'll play until turn 3. I think we're gonna mulligan for something better here. This actually looks like a much better hand. And what are we gonna put back? This is tough, but maybe actually this Cult Conscript. I know it sounds weird with me saying that we just didn't have any early plays, but without any like eaten alive or anything to take advantage of it, it feels a lot worse. And of course, we drew the second Sheltered, which is the other card I was considering dumping, considering we only had 3 lands in our starting hand. That's how it goes sometimes. We're gonna play this Lagamos. Get in with our 2/1. Well, I have to imagine our opponent can kill our Lagamos next turn. Can even cut down. It's one of the main vulnerabilities of Lagamos. Is like here they could cut down it plus play another spell. But I mean, obviously Liliana is pretty good here as well. Hopefully we draw an untap land for this Morbid Opportunist. Yeah, I think we're going to play the Morbid Opportunist. Give us more higher upside draws. Like we draw a Lagamos this next turn. It's pretty high upside where we can draw some cards. And our other option was playing a Cult Conscript, which we are pretty happy to discard and get the value from here. So like our opponent was happy to discard their Tenacious Underdog, which is a card we definitely could be playing in this deck. But I'm sure the deck designer thought about that when they made the deck. This card is just everywhere over standard. It's not as easy to recur as Cult Conscript, certainly. Okay, March of Wretched Shadows. That means that might mean they didn't have a better removal spell. I think now we're just gonna Lightning Strike this Liliana and hope to be able to slam a Shelly at some point to get back into this game. Right now we're pretty far behind and not feeling too great about where we are in the game. Our opponent's definitely going to have a free Tenacious Underdog graveyard spin here if they want. It's always a pretty good option if you're in the opponent's seat. If your opponent doesn't have a board, and you can just build up a card advantage if your life total isn't being pressed or anything. But our opponent probably also has a 2-mana removal spell if they left it up here instead of playing the Tenacious Underdog, which we're going to see eat our Morbid Opportunist. So I wanted to be able to play both of those cards. And now I'm thinking While drawing no lands for this Shelly. They could are eaten alive here, or our Shelly. They did take a Shelly, so it means they're probably scared of it, or they have exactly one removal spell that could kill a Sheldred. No land here, so we'll pass. Expect to see the underdog here and them really getting in. Or they could just go all in on one of these Shadows or Dusk. I mean, yeah, I guess they're both Shadows. Knight of Dusk Shadow and Misery Shadow. So your opponent does. We have to, I think, keep up this go for the throat in case they did play their own Sheldred or something. I think we need to kill this Dusk Shadow so we can start gaining life with Shelly, though. And we need to draw an untapped land here, probably, and we did. Sad part is our opponent is almost assuredly holding up a removal spell here if they didn't get their own Tenacious Underdog out of the graveyard. Oh, okay. You know, we'll actually take... Oh, a Liliana. That's basically the same as a removal spell. They're getting back their Liliana, and that's going to be GG's from us already. Tough game there to start, but let's go on to the next one. Okay, we get to go first, and mulliganing with this deck hasn't really gone well so far. You know, obviously that could just be some inherent bias we have with the result, but we do have this Eaten Alive. I think we can do better though than two Shellys, and this does look better, I think. Gonna get rid of, well, these are all pretty good. I think just go for the throat and hope we hit a red mana. Yeah. Gotta hope we hit a red mana for this Lagomos on turn 3. Phoenix Chick, okay. Not a bad Eaten Alive target, but... Okay, question is, do we want to spend this Eaten Alive on this Phoenix Chick, which is doing 1 damage a turn, and potentially be more mana efficient? It's not guaranteed to be more mana efficient unless we draw land next turn. Obviously, we're playing this Cold Conscript. I don't think we want to play it yet. We're presenting somewhat of a clock here. Our opponent probably has better reach and stuff than us, but you know, slamming in for 2 each turn is pretty good. So Kenzen, nice draw. Yeah, playing the Lagomos is highest upside here, so I think we're going to do that. Get in for 6. And our opponent has to deal with this Lagomos next turn, I think, or we bury them in card advantage and whatnot. Another untapped land here would be pretty good, so we can Eaten Alive the Lagomos token and play Braids on one of his Cold Conscripts. But yes, Lagomos is going to eat. It's going to eat a removal spell. Going to eat the Lightning Strike. They're not going to tap with the Bloodthirsty Adversary. Okay. I think we're going to tap with both first. Give our opponent as little information as possible before we play with his Braids. And yeah, we're going to play the Braids. And do we want to sacrifice a land? I don't think we do. I think we want to sacrifice a Cold Conscript. And they do sacrifice the Phoenix Chick. Okay. So they can't get it back. Could just see another Lightning Strike here, which would be tough. Okay, gonna need to draw a creature we can play here. Another Braids is pretty good. Do we want? They're certainly not gonna just sack the land, are they? They're not. I mean, obviously they're not sacking the land. So we would draw a card and they lose 2 life. You know what? I think we do it. They do sack the land. Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's the best outcome for us. I am shocked that they sacked their land. They did draw another one, though. If they have a 3rd Lightning Strike, we could be in trouble again. Phoenix Chick, sure. just gonna attack with his braids and pass. Don't think we're sacrificing anything this turn. Can't afford to lose another land. Opponent has drawn some lands though. Stormseeker. Yeah, it's definitely something we want to kill with his lightning strike. Phoenix Chick can't block, so it's gonna get in anyway. Wow, Eaten Alive has looked so poor in this game. Very unfortunate what we have going with this Eaten Alive right now. We just don't have any creatures for it. Good thing is if Braid does die, we're gonna be able to get this Cult Conscript back, and then Eaten Alive gets a little more live in that scenario. I think it's still gonna be hard for opponent to play something that really, yeah, gets under our skin. Oh, and they're gonna block with the Squee. I think we're just gonna attack. They're gonna block, okay. I'm gonna keep this lightning strike up. This Braids in particular has mostly just been a 3-mana 3/3. Odd game here. Cock is unsure. Opponent's gonna need to play something to block this Braids, or we're going to lightning strike them out of this game. Adversary, well, that's gonna be on blocking duty, certainly, I would have to imagine. Yeah, I think we want to give ourselves the most outs possible, or like the most, yeah, give ourselves the most draws possible next turn. I think we want to kill this Bloodthirsty Adversary now. Guarantee we get our 3 damage in next turn and use the mana most efficiently. And now if they draw something to kill this Braids, we'll be able to get back the Cult Conscript. So we definitely need the 2 lands here. Opponent's going to need to play something to block probably again. For Agoro, okay. That's a 3/3. Mountain wasn't terrible there. I think we must attack. I'm gonna get this Cult Conscript back. Now if we ever draw an untapped black, we probably win the game with a Sheldred. Okay, they have a Chandra, that's fine.
Go ahead, fight me as hard as you can, because I'm real stubborn.
They're gonna have to leave back this Etching.
Watch me heat up the dance floor.
Alrighty, well, yeah, we're gonna attack our opponent, make sure they don't get the Etching around. We're gonna play the Sheldred, and hope that's good enough to close out the game. Well, that was a really close game there. Shelly coming through in the clutch. But, yeah, we got there in the end. GG's. Alrighty, let's head to the wrap-up. Alrighty, and we're back with Lagamoth's Value for the wrap-up. And the deck overall performed decently well. One of the main concerns that the deck designer Sunday had was that there's a lot of 3-drops in the deck, and that could potentially clutter up your draws. And I think we definitely saw some of that. And Braids kind of has this tension where sometimes you want to get into a mode of sacrificing lands to maximize your chance of winning. And you got all these 3-drops to play. I would say about the mana base, I probably would swap out some amount, maybe 3 mountains, 1 swamp for 4 Sulphurous Spring. That's why I have it in this mode we do here. If you were to take this on the ladder and you had those lands to play, at your service there. But yeah, Colt Conscript plus Morbid Opportunist and Braids and Ob Nixilis is pretty good combo. Just having a card you can just regularly sacrifice is pretty good in those contexts. And Lagomos itself was decent. I mean, it was a 3 mana 1/3, had the 2/1. I want the creature token, trample and haste, and it made this deck fun. It made it unique. I'm not sure it made it better than just traditional like anvil strategies where you could maybe slot more braids or more obnixilis in there, um, because having Logos be vulnerable to cut down is kind of tough, especially since it's a card that either it has to live through turn 3 if you play it, or you have to play it on turn 4 to start getting value with things like Eaten Alive, or you know Braids or Morbid Opportunists. You have to cast the Morbid Opportunist on turn 3, and the Logos on turn 4, Braids on turn 3, Logos on turn 4. And those are all very powerful combos. Having a guaranteed recursion of a elemental creature token every turn is super powerful effect. But I think some of the format dynamics at play make it pretty hard and pretty unlikely that this card sticks around for a long time. But if it does, it's going to do some powerful things, as you saw in some of the games that I played. So yeah, it was still a fun deck. It was I try to be realistic about the deck, because I don't want to promise a 65% win rate on some decks, and then you're looking at the matches I played for the video, and then your own matches, and you're wondering why it didn't line up, kind of thing. But the deck, it is very fun. It does have very powerful draws, especially if your opponent isn't playing black and can't kill a lot of your 3-drop creatures here. And I think you will have a lot of fun playing it on the ladder. So I would recommend it from that perspective. And if you do want a slow grind on the ladder, I do think you can win at least half your games with this deck. I think it still has a pretty high floor, especially in the lower ranks of the ladder. So I think you could still win a solid amount of the games as I did here. But already, until next time, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.